main event. This is a professional fight now, a professional female fight brought to you by the Vegas Hotel. We'll start things off fighting out of the blue corner. It's Celine Haga.
Haga, at the age of 30 years old, out of Greg Jackson's MMA in Albuquerque, New Mexico, comes in with a record of 6-12 at 5'4" and 110 pounds. So she makes the long trip up from Albuquerque to appear here tonight. It is another one of our female fights, so that will be exciting. A little bit smaller, folks, 110-pound weight limit on this one. As Jeff Boybe jumps back into the ring, so he will be your referee for this one again in this match.
You want to talk about long trips? Dave, Celine Haga is from Norway, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, out of Jackson's MMA, Winklejohn MMA. You know, the best fighters in the world coming out of that camp. A fantastic training facility. We are seeing top-notch women's MMA here at Fusion Fight League. And Celine Haga will be representing very well tonight.
And fighting
out of Jackson's MMA.
It's Kyra Batara.
And Batara comes in at 4'11", also 110 pounds, 1-2 at the age of 20, fighting out of Henderson, Nevada, the 10th Planet, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Cavalcanti. So she made a pretty long trip as well from Henderson all the way up here. So we're starting to get into some of those out-of-town fighters that we were talking about earlier, and just the quality of program that folks do put on for everybody here in Billings through Fusion Fight.
And Celine Haga, she has won 5 out of her last 6, Dave. That is huge. She is coming off some big wins. She's coming. It would seem that, you know, moving on to Jackson's MMA, moving on to that type of camp has made a big difference in her game. Do not be fooled by her record. She is coming in here with some top skills off a lot of good wins. Like I said, she's won 5 of her last 6, and she's got 6 wins. So she has definitely made a transition. She has definitely improved things. And look for big things from Celine Haga tonight.
So she's in the ring and waiting.
And our Fusion Fight girl for this fight is Lindsay.
Now Kyra Batara fighting out of Henderson, Nevada, 10th Planet, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Cavalcanti. Those are some big names to drop. I'm telling you right now. 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Eddie Bravo doing some excellent stuff with Nogi Jiu-Jitsu, working with MMA fighters, Mission Control. I can't say enough good things about what Eddie Bravo is doing, about what the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu system has done for Jiu-Jitsu as a whole, and MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. You see big things. You see the first omoplata in the UFC coming out of
professional bouts tonight, brought to you by the Vegas Hotel. The Vegas Hotel, newly renovated and updated. Come check out their new look and their updated facilities, offering a long list of amenities. So thank you to the Vegas Hotel for bringing you this professional fight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. Fighting out of the blue corner, representing Jackson's MMA out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, with a record of 6-12, 110 pounds, 5 feet 4 inches tall. It's Celine Haga. And fighting out of the red corner, representing the Cavalcanti Training Center and 10th Planet from Las Vegas, Nevada, with a record of 1-2, 109 pounds, 4 feet 11 inches tall. It's Kyra Magwai Batara.
Batara, certainly an air of confidence over there, and Haga more of a calm before the storm. And she's out of the blue corner, and the fighters will come meet in the center of the ring. A significant height and reach advantage for Haga. She comes in at 5'4" versus 4'11" for Batara. But as we've seen throughout the course of the night, really with all MMA fights, that may or may not ultimately end up being a deciding factor.
Yeah, both these guys coming out of, and Batara coming out hard. These guys are trading right away, working into the clinch. Both these guys coming out of fantastic gyms. Expect big things from both these ladies in the 105-pound division here at Fusion Fight League.
And Batara's got her up against the edge of the cage. Now they rotate and switch positions. Into the corner goes Batara, trying to get flipped around so she can start to land some shots to the body. She did get a few knees in early. We'll see whether or not she can do some more damage. The much more solid fighter.
Oh, and Haga working around to the back here. Working around to the back after that throw. She did get thrown to the ground with the head and arm, but you do give up your back in that transition. You got to watch out for that. So she's working around to the back, and she has it. Celine Haga taking the back of Kyra Mogwai Batara. Working in that choke, but Batara's keeping her chin down, trying to defend.
Trying to reach up there and get a couple of shots in while she is in a somewhat compromised position. But the leg lock there for Haga, very, very difficult for Batara to get any decent shots in right now.
Yes, this triangle, the body triangle from the back, as I said earlier, a very tough position, robs you your lungs. Batara doing a great job at trying to work out, trying to take the top position, but she's got to watch a triangle coming out of here.
And Batara trying to switch around to see if she can get her shoulders through this so she can land some more of those shots to the face that she was landing earlier, but in a very compromised position with those legs.
And here she is in a kind of a strange reverse triangle, inverted triangle here. But is Batara. Haga trying to work her position, might work for an armbar here.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like Batara, or Haga rather, is trying to get a hold of that arm and see if she can't get her into an armbar.
The problem is there that her feet were clasped, but now she's escaped. And Batara's starting to pour on, but big up kicks coming from Haga.
And keep in mind, this is a professional fight, so the referee is going to be a little bit slower to stop this one than maybe he would have been in one of the amateur fights earlier in the evening.
Not to mention elbows. Elbows are legal in professional fights. You're gonna see Batara start to rain down elbows, and that'll be a bad thing for Haga from this position. But I tell you what, kudos to these girls' ground game. They are both working very hard, both showcasing some excellent groundwork in the transitions. Looks like Haga is setting up a triangle from the bottom. Batara aware of it.
And Batara looking to the side of the ring over there, trying to get some coaching. As Wildman over there helping out the out-of-area fighter. And one of the nice things about MMA, of course, is the camaraderie between the fighters when you're in the cage.
Haga setting up a triangle here. She might have it. She's working to lock it up. She's going to be working to grab her shin and try to lock up that triangle.
And both fighters content to be on the ground at the moment, though Batara not necessarily as much by choice.
She's locking up this triangle, Dave. If she can underhook that left leg of Batara, Batara's going to be in big trouble here. This is a bad choke, and it's tight, and it's locked up. Batara's going to look to punch out. She's working to explode out, but she's in a bad situation here, Dave.
And Haga also got a hold of that arm, trying to get her in an arm bar as well. So she's got her wrapped around the head with her legs. Batara trying to maneuver her way out of it, but this first round, I got to say, I think that first round has been pretty much all Haga.
She's excellent escape by Batara, fantastic technical, well-executed escape.
But she's still missing her arm. Haga's still got a hold of her arm, I believe, and Haga trying to get her in a position where she can use that arm bar and get this one over with, and we'll see whether or not she's able to get it done.
The problem is the angle here. You have to hyperextend the arm for the arm bar, and her arm is basically out from that position. She'd have to roll it over from here. So she's working to take the back. I tell you what, this is that 10th Planet Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coming through. Batara takes top position.
And she does get out. Both fighters probably realizing coming towards the end of round number one, we've talked about it all night long, that if you're going to let anything go to the judges, you want to leave them with something positive from your round. And Batara lifting
10 seconds.
Haga now off the ground, dropping her back down. But again, a pro fight, the referee is going to leave it to the fighters to tap out.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, this is excellent.
And it's round one in this pro co-main event presented by the Vegas Hotel.
Excellent transitions from both these ladies, Dave. I would give this round to Celine Haga having that triangle. She had her in a very, very precarious, very dangerous position. A fantastic job by Kyra Batara escaping that triangle, working to take top position and transition herself out for the end of that round and end it with an exclamation mark on top with some slams on top. Tough to call, but I would give that to Haga for the danger in that triangle. We'll see how they adjust for the second round here.
Always difficult to tell, though, because Batara was impressive at both ends. She came out real fast out of the gate.
Without a doubt.
Landed some good shots early on in the round, and she was basically tied up most of the first round, but then was able to get out again at the end, and once again had a little bit of a flurry towards the end of the round as well. So a difficult round to score, I would imagine, because certainly Haga was dominant in the middle, but Batara better on both ends.
And a shout out to Fusion Fight League for putting together a fantastic matchup for the fans here. These guys are fighting. These guys are transitioning well. This is an awesome fight for real MMA fans. This is a great, technically executed fight, a great fight for women's MMA, and a great fight for Fusion Fight League here. Here's round 2. And both these fighters are ready to go, Dave. Neither one of them look any worse for the wear. Neither one of them look like they have any intentions on quitting anytime soon. And some colorful uniforms. Oh, the big right! Big right from Batara. Haga works knees up the center from the clinch.
And Batara getting in there, pushing Haga up against the edge, clearly wanting to be able to get in there, land some good body shots, probably knowing that where she was effective in that first round, she cannot get tied up because Haga clearly has an advantage if they get in too close.
And a big slam by Batara here to Haga. Haga on her back, but she's working for her guard. She has half guard here. Batara working to pass around. She's going to start landing some pins her arm down there. She's going to land some punches here, some elbows here. This is a pro fight. Elbows are legal, and this is early in the round. This is not good for Haga, Dave.
So Haga on the bottom. Batara doing some damage with that left hand and trying to hold her down with the right and hammer away with that left hand. Do some damage. This could go as long as 5 rounds. So certainly early on in this one potentially, but Batara clearly changing her strategy a little bit here in round 2.
And great jiu-jitsu from the bottom from Haga, but Batara ends up passing her guard, working into that side control, pouring on some punches, working the body.
And now using those knees to get in there into that midsection and do some damage there. Again, this is sometimes somewhat of a war of attrition oftentimes, as could go 5 rounds, so that's 15 minutes in the ring if it were to go the distance. The way these two are throwing haymakers, it's a little hard to imagine it would make it that far.
A 3-round fight here, but the rounds are 5 minutes for pro fights. So 15 minutes in the cage, let me tell you what, that's like 5 hours on your, lifting weights, running. Right. I mean, that is
on high alert for every second of those 15 minutes.
It is a massive athletic feat to go 15 minutes in the cage, especially with this high level of fighting. Both these guys, they cannot take a minute to rest. These ladies are technically skilled. They're in shape. They're ready to fight, and they are showing some very high caliber, great technique here at Fusion Fight League tonight.
Batara still on top, so Haga trying to get her flipped over. Batara still landing a few knees in there, but mostly elbows and blows to the face, strikes to the face.
And Batara pushes that knee down, passes into half guard. Working to pass back to side control or a mount, but tell you what, Haga has a fantastic half guard. She's doing a great job at defending there. Works in her butterfly hook here, and she's going to work to full butterfly guard.
Batara trying desperately to stay out of the leg lock there and give herself some room to operate. A little bit interesting because, as I mentioned at the top of the fight, Haga a significant reach advantage.
And an arm triangle set up by Haga here. This is tough to pull off from here, but if she can get herself shucked out to the side, Dave, this can tighten up in a hurry and be a big problem, and she does. She's working out to the side. Batara defending well, moving herself back on top.
She's got the arm, trying to get the arm bar there over her head. Tough to get the angle on it from this particular position.
She's working on an arm triangle from the bottom, which is a blood choke. It closes off your carotid arteries. closes off your carotid artery, causes your head to lose blood. You eventually pass out from here. But Haga has got to shuck herself out to the side. She's got to get the right angle on it. Batara working to pass into the mount, and it looks like she does. Can't quite tell if she's got both legs around at this point, if she's in half guard or mount. Looks like a half guard, and she's out. Great attempt at an arm triangle from the bottom from Haga. Like, as I said, excellent ground game, excellent jiu-jitsu from both these ladies shown here tonight.
And Batara back on top, or still on top, trying to get her arm free so that she can do some more damage, pummeling Haga's face. You can see Haga beginning to swell up a little bit above that right eye.
And working in here, working to pass is Batara.
And Batara again still remains on top, trying to content to hammer away at those sides and at the midsection and see if she can wear her down.
Batara on top here. She has an arm isolated. We'll see if she works that. Pepper in with some big shots from the top. Haga's in a bad position here, but Haga may work around.
10 seconds.
10 seconds in the round. She's going to try to put a exclamation, put some punches in the face of Haga to finish off the round as
All right, that ends that
Batara
round.
finishes on top in a good position, landing punches.
Event brought to you by the Vegas
Haga a
Hotel.
little bit slow to get up, so certainly those punches to the head taking their toll on Celine Haga as she heads back to her corner, and as does Kyra Batara.
I tell you what, a lot of this fight game is mental, and the mental state of Batara right now, you know, she looks confident, she looks ready to go, she looks ready to fight a third round. Haga looking a little worse for the wear.
She does.
They have put on a ferocious pace
Oh,
here
absolutely, yeah.
for the first two rounds. She's wearing it. Haga's wearing it clearly more than Batara. See if she can get herself together, if her cornerman can give her some good advice to go out in this third round. Of course, excellent cornerman out of Jackson's MMA. Excellent team there. We got Thomas Wildman Denny in the corner of Batara. Fantastic coaching there. We'll see what comes out in this third round. What an exciting fight and a technical battle on the ground this has been.
All right, eager to get back out there, and Haga not quite as eager to get back out there for the beginning.
Big smile on the face of Batara
Yep.
here. She's looking ready. She's looking fresh, like she's coming out for the first round. Haga, not so much.
And I think certainly under the impression that she won, and probably correctly so, that she definitely won that second round. So regardless of how you had it scored in round number one, I think Batara certainly
Throwing everything with the kitchen. She's throwing big haymakers in this third round. She knows that Haga is wearing it. She knows that Haga is tired, and that she wants to convince her to take an exit out of this third round. Make no mistake, Batara.
she wants to get in there and throw as many punches as she can.
She is working to finish, and
Yeah,
I tell you what, a lot of fighters these days, you know, they work to take wins, they work to take decisions. Batara is working to finish, but watch out. You cannot sleep on a ground game like Haga's. She is working to take the back. She's working her guard. Batara has consistently passed this guard, has consistently shown great positioning and dominance on the ground, but Haga had her in that triangle in the first round. No doubt the fight can change in a split second with that type of choke.
Well, especially she's tried to get her in an armbar, and she's almost had it several times already in this fight. And but Batara better be very careful about that, because if she does get her in that armbar, you're absolutely right. I don't care how far you are ahead on any of the judges' cards. If you end up getting into some sort of a position like that where you can be forced to tap out or whatever, things can change very, very quickly.
You know, part of this, I'm getting confused if I'm watching fighting or stargazing here. Those spats are incredible, I do have to say. Batara working the top position. Both these ladies showing some excellent style with their outfits tonight, but Batara showing some great style on the ground, keeping this top position, landing some shots, and working to pass the guard of Haga here.
When you wonder how much, on the judges' card, she's not doing a whole lot of damage. She's not landing any real big shots for the most part, as far as Batara is concerned. However, she is certainly dominating the fight in terms of forcing the issue and making Haga, not allowing Haga to do what she wants to do. At some point, you got to figure, even if there aren't any huge shots, that are landed. How does that factor into the judges' decisions?
Yes, well, they judge these fights based on effective striking, grappling, and octagon control. Aggression and octagon control. She's definitely showing aggression. She's definitely showing octagon control, and she's showing very effective grappling. So no doubt, Batara is taking this second round and putting a stamp on it. Hooks her leg here. Watch out for a rear naked choke. I can't tell if she has it or not. She is working a choke in there. She's got her arm. Haga's arm is trapped behind her. She cannot defend with it. Working it out. I can't tell where she is under the chin. Haga must have her chin down here. Must have her chin down or she'd be in trouble here, but Batara content to squeeze anyways.
And I don't think she does. I think she did get her arm underneath there. No, she does still have the chin underneath the.
The chin is down. This is incredibly uncomfortable. This is awful on your chin, but it's not going to choke you. You can defend well from here. Very, very painful position. But Batara doing a great job of just saying, I'm going to squeeze anyways. I know it's uncomfortable for you, and I'm just fine here. She's got to watch out to cross her legs in between Haga's legs. You can set up a footlock from there.
And then she does get one of them in between, and so she's trying to bend her over backwards. However, she's lost the hold underneath Haga's legs there, and she's got to be very careful. Haga trying to get that arm in there and see if she can't, probably knowing she's not winning this round. She needs to do something impressive towards the end of this round in order to potentially pull it out or obviously possibly win the fight.
As dominant as Batara has been on the ground, I can't say enough good things about Haga's ground game. She's defending very well. She's defending very technically. She's doing a great job. Both these ladies showing fantastic technique on the ground, and I for one am enjoying this fight very, very much.
No question about it. And Batara still trying to get that chokehold and see if she can't get a submission.
And she's working to get her right leg in as a second hook to maintain that back control. Watch for armbar on Haga's right arm here. Watch for a possible Kimura here. She might slide off and try to finish this armbar, and she's going for it. She's going for it, Dave. She might work to set up a Kimura from here. This is one of my favorite techniques, and this is gorgeous grappling here, gorgeous submission setup here. She is working for that Kimura. If she can pop that hand out of Haga's body
10 seconds.
It's only 10 seconds to do it. These guys are working. She works for it. Batara working. Haga defending well. And we're going to the judges' scorecards for this one. Fantastic fight from both these ladies.
Great effort by both fighters, no question about it. And
incredible ground game, incredible transitions, great technique from both these fighters. Batara very confident coming out. She's confident that she has earned it on the judges' scorecards. But both these ladies should hold their head up high. Fantastic fights. I loved it. The crowd loved it. If you didn't like that fight, then
you shouldn't be watching MMA.
Yeah, you need to come take a class from me. Go to if you're in Billings here, go to the Grindhouse. Talk to Will Grindhauser. He will show you a little bit about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You will be impressed, and then you need to go back and watch this fight again. Fantastic technical fight, technical ground battle from both these ladies. I'm impressed. They should both hold their heads up high. Very nice job from both these ladies.
Let's get our fighters to the center of the cage here, if we could, please. This fight, again, brought to you by the Vegas Hotel, a co-main event tonight. Your winner by unanimous decision out of the red corner, Kyra Batara.
Big
Kyra,
win.
do you have anything you'd like to say to everybody?
I want to say thank you so much to my team, all my sponsors, my mom. It was just me and my mom that came to Montana. She's been with me from the start. She's no coach. She's never done martial arts, no wrestling. But she's out here cornering me. Met some really good friends. So I love you, Montana. I would love to be back.
Let's give it up for it one more time there.
Big win for Kyra Batara here tonight.
no question about it.